Ever been out hiking, miles from anywhere and your phone's totally useless?
Oh, yeah, completely.
Well, imagine if all you needed was a clear view of the sky
Wow.
to be connected, like anywhere on Earth.
That would be amazing.
That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
Starlink Direct to Cell.
Sounds futuristic.
It's a service that lets regular cell phones connect straight to satellites.
No special equipment or anything.
Nope, just your phone. How cool is that?
That's really cool, actually. How does it even work, though?
So SpaceX has this network of Starlink satellites, right?
Huh?
They've got these special modems on them called DIBs.
Okay.
And those act like, cell towers, but in space.
So the satellites are like cell towers.
Exactly.
Oh,
And get this, your phone, it doesn't even know the difference.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
It connects to these space towers just like it would to a regular tower on the ground.
That's incredible.
It really is. The eNodeBibs, they use the same tech as ground-based towers, so it all integrates seamlessly with existing networks. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, so my phone thinks it's talking to a tower down the street,
Right.
but it's actually connecting to a satellite like hundreds of miles up.
You got it.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
And it's all possible because of the way Starlink satellites orbit. Way closer to Earth than those traditional satellites.
So we're talking low Earth orbit, LEO.
You know it.
So that means lower latency and faster connections.
Yep. No more laggy calls or buffering, even if you're in the middle of nowhere.
That's a game changer, especially for people in remote areas.
I know. Think about like scientific research or disaster relief.
Huge impact, yeah.
So when can people actually start using this?
Well, the rollout is happening in phases.
Okay.
SpaceX is planning to launch text messaging capabilities sometime in 2024.
Oh, wow. So soon.
Yeah, and then voice calls and data services will follow in 2025.
That's not too far off. And what about, all those Internet of Things gadgets?
Oh, that's coming too. They're aiming for IoT connectivity in 2025 as well. So we could have, like, sensors in remote areas, entire industrial systems all connected through this satellite network.
Exactly. The possibilities are huge.
It's mind-blowing, but it can't all be smooth sailing, right? There've got to be some challenges with this.
Well, for one, there's the whole world of international regulations. Every country has its own rules about satellite communication.
So getting approval in every market's got to be a huge task.
Absolutely. Plus, there are technical challenges like making sure signals from these space-based cell towers don't interfere with the existing networks on the ground.
Ah, I see.
SpaceX is doing a lot of simulations to work on that, though.
Sounds like they've got their work cut out for them. But SpaceX seems to handle ambitious projects pretty well.
They do.
This is just the beginning for Starlink Direct to Cell.
Yeah, it really is. So before we were talking about those hurdles Starlink Direct to Cell has to face, the international regulations and the signal interference stuff.
Yeah, it's like, even with amazing technology,
Yeah.
you still got to follow the rules, make sure everything plays nice with what's already out there.
Right, exactly. It's a huge undertaking.
It is, but how about we shift gears a bit?
Sure.
To talk about the impact this could have.
Okay.
We talked about remote areas.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think this shakes things up for, industries across the board?
Well, I think the most obvious one is the telecommunications industry itself.
Oh, for sure.
This could really disrupt the whole traditional mobile network scene.
Big time. Imagine smaller carriers
Yeah.
suddenly able to offer global coverage
Right.
without needing all that expensive infrastructure.
Yeah, it could really level the playing field and give them a chance to compete with the big guys.
Almost like everyone gets a slingshot
Yeah.
and we get to watch them take on Goliath.
That's a good way to put it. I wonder how the big players are going to react to this.
Me too. But even for those established companies,
Yeah.
think about the new markets that open up.
You're right. They could offer service to remote communities or even like whole countries with limited infrastructure.
It's huge.
It is. The potential for growth is massive.
Feels like the Wild West out there. Everyone trying to stake their claim in this new frontier of connectivity.
That's a good analogy.
But what about beyond telecom? Who else benefits from this always-on global connection?
Well, think about industries that rely heavily on communication and data, like shipping and logistics, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine cargo ships or trucking fleets all constantly connected, sharing real-time updates and optimizing their routes.
Makes the whole supply chain smoother. Probably even lowers costs for us in the end.
Exactly.
And then there's the Internet of Things. We talked about plans for IoT connectivity with Starlink Direct to Cell.
Right.
The possibilities there are just wow.
I know, it's hard to even grasp. We could have agricultural sensors monitoring crops,
Mhm.
smart cities managing traffic,
Right.
all talking to each other through a network in space.
It's mind-boggling. And think about things like environmental monitoring.
Oh, absolutely.
Scientists could get real-time data from the most remote places,
Yeah.
track climate change, monitor wildlife, really get a better handle on the planet's health.
We could see so many new discoveries as
Yeah.
researchers can access places and data they never could before.
And let's not forget about disaster relief.
Oh, right.
Being able to communicate and coordinate when normal systems are down. That could be life-saving.
Absolutely. It really could. This is a powerful tool. It has the potential to improve so many parts of our lives. How we work, how we travel, even how we understand and protect our planet.
It does.
Yeah.
But we can't ignore the fact that this kind of widespread connectivity
Yeah,
comes with its own set of challenges, right?
for sure.
We've talked about regulations and technical stuff,
Yeah.
but what about privacy and security?
That's a crucial point.
If we're always connected, does that mean we're always vulnerable?
It's something we need to think about, for sure.
It is. With any new tech,
Mhm.
especially something with this much data and constant connection,
Yeah.
there are risks.
Cybersecurity is going to be even more important
Oh, yeah.
in a world where everything's linked together.
It's like building a house with windows everywhere. Amazing view.
Uh-huh. Right.
But you better be serious about security.
Exactly. So what are some of the things we need to be worried about?
Well, data breaches are a big one. All that info flowing through a satellite network, that's a tempting target for hackers.
Yeah. Protecting that data is going to be huge.
And what about surveillance?
Mm.
If our movements, our conversations are always being tracked,
Mm-hmm.
how do we protect our privacy?
These are all valid concerns, and we have to address them head on.
We do.
We need strong security protocols, tough encryption,
Right.
and clear rules about how data can be collected and used.
It's a tricky balance, isn't it?
It is.
Harnessing this power while
Yeah.
keeping our privacy and security intact.
Yeah. How do you think we strike that balance?
Well, I think transparency is a good starting point. We need to know how our data is being handled, who's using it, how it's
Yeah.
protected,
I agree.
and we need strong regulations to hold companies accountable.
Absolutely.
Plus, we need to be able to make informed choices about our own data and our online activity.
I think that's key.
We need to have these conversations now while this tech is still being developed, not wait until problems pop up later.
Right. It's more important now than ever.
But even with all the challenges, there's no denying the potential here. Starlink Direct-to-Cell could connect people like never before, bridge divides, open up a whole world of possibilities.
I agree. It's truly game-changing, a real catalyst for innovation. It gives us a glimpse into a future where connectivity has no limits.
It's an exciting time to be alive,
It is.
to witness this kind of technological revolution firsthand.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
So we've been digging into this Starlink Direct-to-Cell,
Yeah.
the tech side, the impact on industries, even like the whole global society.
It's pretty far-reaching.
But what about this? What does this always-on global connection mean for how we experience like the world around us?
That's a really interesting question. Right now, we kind of think of our digital lives and our physical experiences as separate things, right?
Yeah, like we go online and we log off and go off the grid.
Exactly. But imagine a world where that line is blurred.
Oh.
You're always connected no matter where you are or what you're doing.
It's almost like the internet becomes like an extension of our senses,
I like that. Yeah.
a whole new way to interact with the world.
Exactly. Think about travel. You're hiking in the mountains, not only experiencing the beauty of nature, but also being able to share that experience live with others,
Wow.
learning about the history and ecology of the place as you go.
Travel becomes this interactive educational journey.
Right.
And it's not just sharing, it's about access. Imagine students in remote villages
Yeah.
getting the same educational resources as kids in big cities.
That's huge. Education becomes truly democratized. No more barriers based on where you live.
Exactly. And what about scientific research? Scientists could gather real-time data from the most extreme environments.
The ocean depths, the polar ice caps, all kinds of places.
You can see a wave of new discoveries
Oh, for sure.
as researchers access areas and data they couldn't before.
It's like the frontiers of human knowledge are expanding right before our eyes.
Yeah, it is. But with all this connectivity comes a big question, right?
Yeah.
How do we handle this power responsibly.
That's the key, isn't it? We've talked about privacy and security, but there's more to it than that. There are ethical things to consider, too.
Right.
How do we make sure this benefits everyone,
Yeah.
not just a select few?
It's like we've been handed this powerful tool,
Mhm.
and we need to figure out how to use it the right way.
We need to learn how to drive it safely. Make
Yeah.
sure it takes us where we want to go as a society.
And part of that is thinking about the downsides, the impact on our mental health, information overload, even the potential for a bigger digital divide.
We can't just ignore those things.
We can't. It's complex, no easy answers. But as we've seen, the potential benefits are massive.
They are.
Starlink Direct to Cell could connect us, bridge gaps, and unlock all these possibilities we haven't even imagined yet.
It's a technology that could reshape the world as we know it. There will be challenges, but I think we can use it for good.
I hope so. It's an exciting time, and I'm really curious to see how it all unfolds. So as we wrap this up, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to ponder?
I'd say this. We're all part of this journey. The decisions we make today about how we develop and use and regulate this tech, those decisions will shape the future. It's a responsibility we all share.
It's a call to action, really. We're not just watching this happen.
No, we're not.
We can help shape it, steer it in the right direction.
Yeah.
As we finish up, I hope everyone stays informed, joins the conversation, and helps build the future they want to see.
Thanks for joining us.